So this is Alpha Male 2.0 freedom focused lifestyle design for men. Location independent income through a location independent laptop based business. Dating multiple attractive women long term with no lying, cheating, or drama. The freest lifestyle available to the modern man today in the collapsing era in which we live. I am Caleb Jones. And I need to adjust my mic. That's a little better. Here we go. Good, good. Now I need to adjust my screen over here. Hang on. Too much adjustments. There we go. That's better. Today, we're going to cover a business topic and a dating topic. I'll cover the dating topic first. Business topics usually are reserved for the Unchained CEO channel and brand. But this business topic had just too much overlap with Alpha Male 2.0 and my history, starting out in the pickup artist world. So it made more sense here. And you have to remember that 50% of Alpha Male 2.0 is money and income. We Alpha Male 2.0s get laid and we make money. We don't just get laid and we're fucking poor like so many pickup artists, players, and red pill types. We don't just make a lot of money and we never get laid, or we have a monogamous wife or girlfriend who kicks our ass and, end up like betas, like so many high-income betas have. We have both. We do both. Fundamental baseline of your long-term happiness is both sex and money as a man. There's a minimum to both these things you need on a regular basis, or else no other aspect of your life can make you long-term happy. Yes, including things like religion and children and social life and family and spirituality. And these things are important also, but they will not make you important if you're never getting laid and or you have no money, or you work at a soul-sucking job that you hate. Hang on a second. I got to keep moving this over here. Hang on a minute. I should have adjusted this a little better. Okay, here we go. I'll handle a few questions first, and I'm going to get right into first our dating topic that piggybacks perfectly with what we discussed last time on this podcast. By the way, this is a podcast. If you prefer the audio version of this podcast, I will have some visuals for you in a minute. I will describe them to you if you listen to the audio version. If you want the audio version of this podcast, you go to alphamale20.com. That is our brand new, awesome, finally kick-ass, amazing, perfect website. Almost perfect. alphamale20.com/podcast. Plus, if you go to alphamale20.com, the blog is back in all of its former glory, the way it used to look. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I am also answering comments over there at both blogs. So the alphamale20.com/blog. I'm answering comments at that blog now. I wasn't before, and I am. And the Unchained CEO blog, that is at calebjones.com/blog, different blog. I'm answering comments over there. The quality of the comments tend to be better at blogs than on horrible, shitty YouTube. And as usual, just today I saw this. Every other week, I see some YouTube channel I know about bitching about how YouTube has cut their algorithm and now it's cut their traffic down to 80% and now they can't make any money. The latest one is Grim Hustle. Those of you know what that YouTube channel is. And they're all bitching and moaning and, oh, YouTube fucking sucks. And they've cut our traffic. We've cut our, revenue. And we're going to fight YouTube. I'm like, again, give up on YouTube. Just do what I do. Demonetize everything you're doing and use YouTube to manage your warm audience. But don't try to use YouTube to grow a big audience if you're in any niched or controversial area. If you talk about Batman or Star Wars or AI, great. YouTube will work great for you. Other than that, when are you guys going to learn? All right. Really quick, I'll do one or two questions. Have you tracked the success rate of getting a first date from having to ask a girl a second time after no response from the first request? I don't like asking a girl twice for anything. I feel needy. Okay. Have I tracked this exactly? No, but often that is required. I end it 2 times, not 1. Sometimes you got to ask girls twice because here's what girls do. They look at your text, they go, oh yeah, and then they don't respond to it. Or they go, oh, I'll respond to him later, and then they forget. And you text them back, they go, oh yeah, I'm sorry, and then you go out with them and have sex with them. That's happened to me many times. So if you want to stop it 2 times, makes sense. That's fine. That's about what I do. 1 time, no. In the real world, in the modern era, where women have all these distractions coming out of their phones, you're going to have to bug them more than once. There's someone right now where I had to bug more than once, both on the dating app and then on WhatsApp. Not because she wasn't interested, because has all these fucking distractions. Especially if they're really hot. So, no, that's the way it goes. Just don't bet. 2 times is fine. But if you beg her over and over again, I agree. That's beta male shit. Yeah, don't do that. Proud owner of your new Alpha book, courtesy of that amazing bundle you offered last week. Thank you very much. I'm going to rip a cone for you. What does rip a cone mean? Does that mean snort a line? Don't know what that means. But cool. All right, dude. It's great. You know, on that, I was talking to some people a day or two ago. Should I say this? Yeah, I'll just mention this. I don't know if I'm going to do anything. When I did that bundle, that was $15,000 worth of stuff for like $300 to $500, depending on the bundle you chose. And you guys responded very well to it. Great. But a percentage of you complained. I give you $15,000 of stuff for $300 to $500, and you complained that was too much. And you asked for discounts on top of that. What? Jesus Christ. So then we added a payment plan to help you guys. So it was $97 and then 2 or 3 payments, monthly payments after that. So that way you could come with $97 and lock it in at least. And you got 2 or 3 months to figure it out. And my God, some of you, not most of you, but a percentage of you fucking complained about that. What the fuck? It costs more, man. So this goes back to what I experienced on my blogs in 2020 when the pandemic hit. When I said, this is a fucking flu. It's not any big deal. No, you won't have millions of people dying. You're all freaking out. Calm the fuck down. And many of you in my audience lost your minds about how scared you were. Oh my God, we're all going to die. Caleb, you're an asshole. You know what you're talking about. And of course I was right. And all those guys freaking out were wrong. And this is on a brand called Alpha Male. You're supposed to be alpha males and you're just acting like extreme beta male pussies. That was the same feeling I got when I saw people complain about, oh my God, $400 for $15,000. Can I get a discount, man? Come on, man. That's not only beta male behavior, it's extreme beta behavior. And so I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. I have a lot of travel coming up. In about 2 weeks, I go to the UK. I'm doing a seminar there and a mastermind there, calebjones.com/events. If you want to hang out with us in London. Then I'll be off to the United States for a few weeks. And then I'm off to Paraguay for 3 months before I come back to Dubai in October. And I'm going to spend a lot of time on the plane. I use my plane time to brainstorm out business ideas and strategies and things like that. And on my next long plane ride, I am going to sit down and brainstorm out, I'm considering this. Should I and if you guys have opinions on this, you let me know in the chat and or the comments. If I observe extreme beta male, not beta male behaviors, many of you are beta males because you want to become something better. And that's great. That's fine. I was a beta male. I get it. I was a beta male for most of my adult life. I get it. And certainly most of my childhood. I get it. I get it. I get it. Okay. I'm talking about extreme pussy behaviors. You know, the cerveza sickness hits in 2020. You think everyone's going to die and hundreds of millions of people. And oh my God, ventilators they're going to run out of ventilators. All these people are going to die. And if you get it, you have permanent scarring on your lungs for the rest of your life. Or Putin invades Ukraine. Oh my God, Caleb, it's World War III. We're all going to die. Or Iran launches 2 missiles that get through the defense in Israel. Oh my God, Caleb, World War III. Oh my, when I observe extreme beta male behaviors from my audience, I am tempted to, I'm not saying I'm going to do this. I am tempted to permanently ban those people out of my audience, where I would have my team go through, get all their names and all their email addresses, go through all my social medias, ban all of them, then go into our CRM, permanently ban them and ban them from buying any future products. Because you're toxic. Toxic masculinity, society thinks is alpha male behavior. It's actually not. It's extreme pussy beta male behavior. And I'm sure if I did this, some people say, hey, man, I bought products from you. Well, yeah, but you're a toxic. You're the rotten apple that spoils all the other apples. I don't want you in my audience. I've written blog posts about this. I have a whole blog post that says, I'm an asshole. If you don't like it, go away. And I wrote an entire article a few years ago about if you don't like my tone, if I'm too tough on you, if you think I'm too crass, you think I swear too much, you think I'm rude, you think I say mean things, you're not in my audience. You're a pussy beta male snowflake that obviously doesn't want to improve. You're not in my target demo, man. So you shouldn't even be here. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but I'm tempted. After the complaints I saw with that bundle, you don't understand the risks that I took selling that bundle. Anyone who bought that bundle now Those of you who bought the everything bundle, okay, a lot of you did. I can't sell any of my back library of courses to you ever again because now you own them. So now a huge percentage of my audience, I can no longer monetize in terms of back catalog books, courses, mini courses, because you bought them all already for a few $100. You understand the risk that I took to help you guys out? And then a small percentage of you, not most of you, a small percentage of you complain and whine like a bunch of pussies. I'm tempted to do it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure this out in the next few weeks when I get on the plane a few times and map all this out and say, is it worth it? Should we just ban these people? I don't know. Yeah, that's awfully harsh. What did I just say about me being harsh? You think I'm being too harsh? You're on a channel called Alpha Male. You're being a little too alpha. Go away. Go watch a Jordan Peterson video. Go, I don't know. Go do whatever. There's plenty of beta males. I'm not going to mention names. There's plenty of beta male content providers you could go watch who are very nice and very appropriate and very sweet and say, oh, make sure to wear your mask because you don't want to get the cerveza sickness. And, make sure that you don't get caught in World War II. And, oh, yeah. Okay. So, hang on a second here. Let me check this out, make sure the technology is working. Some of you are saying ban them. Should I ban them? I mean, it's worse than it's not just banning them. I'm not talking about just banning them. I'm talking about banning them out of my entire company. Banning them out of Kartra, because some guys have several emote, banning all those, so you can't even buy anything anymore. We do that for a very minute percentage, fraction of 1% of people who ask for numerous refunds over and over again. We ban them for buying anything again because, dude, you're ripping me off. You want a refund for one thing, that's fine. You want a refund 3, 4, 5 things, and you're the first to buy, you're just ripping me off. So we do that anyway. But I'm talking about doing it with a percentage of the audience. I don't know what percentage it is, 5% of the audience. I mean, the more I'm talking about this, the more I'm liking the idea. And I'm going to have a bunch of people go, hey, man, I've been your follower for 50. Yeah, but you're still a beta. So clearly my content isn't working. Okay. Would that be outcome dependent? Outcome dependent on my part? No, it's damaging my audience. It's the same reason why I don't know if you mentioned me or outcome dependent for them. It's the same reason why I don't allow ad hominem personal attacks in my comments. You can ad hominem attack me or anyone in my family or my audience or the people in my audience anywhere on the internet you want, just not in the threads that I'm managing. Because what happens is, and I have a lot of experience with this, I used to run a pickup artist forum. Are you kidding? I know all about this stuff. When you allow ad hominem attacks, it derails the conversation, a bunch of weird bullshit, and not the topic that people are trying to discuss and get help with. So it's not like, well, Caleb, you're outcome dependent because you're not allowing ad hominem attack. No, it's because I know for a fact I've been managing forums and things like this, blogs, the internet for almost 20 years now. I know how this works. You derail conversations, and it's unfair to the people in the threads who are looking for help and assistance. And you're screaming at each other about who's a bigger asshole. That's why. So it's the same thing here. If I have extreme beta male pussies whining like little 5-year-old girls in my threads, on my social media, in my email to my team, on YouTube, on my Facebook groups, that damages the brand and it damages the audience in my view. That's why I would do it. All right. That bundle was the best money I ever spent. I can't imagine complaining. Most of you did not complain, and most of you thought it was great, and that was my intention. That's great. I'm not talking about most. This is not most of you. This is maybe 5% of the audience, but 5% is a lot. It should be 0%. You could be a beta male. Most of you listen to the sound of my voice, most of you men are betas, and that's fine. Your beta's trying to be something else. That's why I'm here to help you. I'm not talking about people acting like betas. I'm people talking like extreme pussy betas, especially, and I noticed a few of these names were names I recognized. These are names who have seen my content for years, and they're still pussies. The same feeling I had when I saw this. Many of you panicked and freaked out when the cerveza sickness hit in 2020, the pandemic. People who have been in my audience for a long time acting like complete little vaginas. I'm like, have you not been listening to me for the past 10 years about being outcome independent, rational, alpha, not beta? What the fuck? So that's why we do it. Okay. All right. Let's get to our first topic. I went too long. I'm going to share my screen. If you are listening to the podcast, I will describe what people are seeing. So first, I need you guys to tell me, can you see that profile, that Bumble profile? Can you see that? Tell me in the chat if you can see that. Can you guys see that? Just say, yes, I can see the Bumble profile. This is a screenshot. If you're listening to the podcast, this is a screenshot of a woman's Bumble profile, and they've wiped out. Yeah, you can. Great. Okay. What they've done here is they've wiped out half of her face and any incriminating evidence of who she is to keep it anonymous. This was a meme that was going around very recently. I stumbled across this myself. I couldn't believe it. We talked last week about ASD and how ASD spikes at age 33 and how women over 33 have a very particular attitude about men and dating and things like this. I'm going to read to you verbatim what this woman wrote in her Bumble profile, and I'm going to describe what she looks like. Some of you already see what she looks like, but I'll describe it. So I'm going to read this verbatim. Hang on here. About me. All right. First, let me describe how she looks. And they've cut off most of her face. She looks like she has a pretty smile. She has a very short, butch blonde haircut. She is in her car, just doing a selfie in her car. She's wearing a dirty gray t-shirt with military fatigues on it. In other words, a very attractive feminine woman that is very desirable. So anyway, here's what she writes in her About Me. Legit looking for a husband and male role model for my 3 kids. They all have different dads. I'm twice divorced. Temporarily have an OnlyFans. Oh, it gets worse. Hang on. No, I don't want to make content with you. Okay. I'm blunt, forthcoming. Does that sound attractive when a woman says she's blunt and forthcoming? Sounds great, huh? And only available every other weekend for now. I regularly work out, okay, and get tattoos. This is what she wrote. She's serious about this stuff. This is a real profile, okay? Medicated for my alphabet of mental health shit. Then she says, thank God. Welcome to the collapsing Western world. This is what you have now. All right, there's more. 5'7", that's just, she's saying I'm 5'7". 5'7", must be 6 foot minimum to get on this ride. I'm here for a long time, not a good time. By the way, classic over 33 statement. Exactly, almost verbatim, what I told you in the last podcast about women over 33. By the way, what is her age on here? Her age is 33. I don't want a good time. I don't want to be happy. Fuck you. Moving on, more. If that's all cool, swipe. If not, for the love of God, swipe left. This is what she wrote. Now, I have analyzed, this is nothing new. It's just worse. I have analyzed the past, like OkCupid profiles of women in their 30s who are like this. A woman says, I'm overweight and have 3 kids from 4 different guys and whatever the fuck. But you need to have, you better have 6-pack. Here's the last one I reviewed a long time ago. She was saying, very similar to this woman. Also similar look to this woman, very Karen. This was like in the mid 2000 teens. Hey, I have several kids with several men and I'm super busy. I don't have any time and I'm blunt. I'm going to tell you how it is and fuck you. And you need to be 6'2" and you need to have 6-pack abs. She goes, look, I'm overweight, but I've had kids. That's different. Men have no excuse. You need to have a 6-pack. And you know what? You better be rich. And I don't want to hear that you've been divorced. I don't want to hear you lost money divorce. Fuck you, man. You better make a lot of money to get on this ride. So this is not an isolated weird example. This is very normal. The only difference now is it's even worse. Now you add into that mix tattoos and mental health problems and prescription drug addictions and OnlyFans. 4 things that didn't really exist about 10 years ago. Not really. 10 years ago, women over 30 were just overly demanding. Now they're overly demanding and they're on drugs and they're on OnlyFans and they have no time, and they have multiple kids from multiple dads. Now, you're going to think, or you're thinking, that I'm attacking women on this. I am not. Someone says she's got to be trolling. No. My understanding is this is real. She's not trolling. Here is the difference between what you're going to hear from me and everyone else in the red pill world, even though I don't consider myself red pill, but many of you do, so that's fine. I guess I'm in that zone. The red pill narrative is that look at this chick, look at this thought, look at this slut, look at this. It's the word changes every few years. There's a new word for this. Look at this. What's the number right now? It's 3 numbers or 4 numbers. Look at this hoe. Look at this. Women are solipsistic, and women are this, and women are that, and women are this, and women, and women. All right. This woman's insane. She's never going to find a man. If I was a typical red pill guy, I'd be saying right now, this woman's going to die alone. She's going to be depressed. She'll be in her 40s, with a bunch of cats, and she'll be miserable, and no guy will fuck her. Wrong. This woman is doing what works. What? Yes. Now, you and I, Alpha Male 2.0, Alpha Male 2.0 aware, we read this and we get repulsed. Here's the problem. If this wasn't working, women wouldn't do this. But millions of women are doing this right now. Let me give you a business parallel. This is an old saying back in the 80s and 90s, Dan Kennedy days. If you saw an ad in a newspaper or magazine, and every issue of the newspaper magazine, you saw the same ad. What does that mean? That means the ad is working. Even if you thought the ad was stupid. And many of these ads were stupid. You're like, what a stupid ad. You're like, fuck, I'm seeing the stupid ad again. The reason you keep seeing it is because it's working. Women have been doing this shit for about 15 years on the dating sites. 15 years. This is nothing new. It's just worse now. But they've been doing this for 15 years. Why do they keep doing it if it doesn't work? Because it works. I will bet you $10,000 this woman will eventually, and it won't be tomorrow or the next week, and it could already be by now, but I didn't say soon, will eventually find some beta male pussy who will be happy to date her, to fuck her, to pay for her kids, to boyfriend her up, or even wife her up. It will happen. This works because there's so many fucking desperate beta males in the world. They don't read this and go, oh my God, fuck this. What instead they do is they look at her picture and go, she's cute and she's blonde and I might be able to fuck her. Oh yeah, okay, honey. Okay. Let me text her. Okay. Oh, you're so pretty. This shit works. If this shit didn't work, women wouldn't do this, but it does work because of men. The problem is men. Men have become so low T, so thirsty, so pussy, so beta male, what I talked about a few minutes ago, that this overly dominant, psychotic, overly demanding, high maintenance behavior works. And if it didn't work, I promise you this woman would never have said these things. Why does this woman have the courage to say these things on a dating app? You think she's just wasting her time? No, she thinks it's going to work. Why does she think it's going to work? Because she's seen other women do it and it worked. The problem is not women. The problem is men. 304. Thank you. That was it. 304. I'm going to unshare this. I have said in the past to these like men's rights advocates guys, these MRA guys, okay? Like we need to abolish monogamy. No, abolish alimony and a change child support laws because this is unfair to us divorced men and we get divorce rate. We need to march on Washington, change the laws and vote for politicians and grassroots efforts. All right, dumb fucks. If you want to abolish things like alimony and unfair child support, here's what you can do. And I've written about this, and I'm right. Imagine if 1/4, only 25% of men in their 30s, and that's important, men in their 30s, Men in their 20s, they don't matter because men in their 20s don't get married. They don't matter to women, I mean. Men in their 20s statistically don't get married. But men in their 30s do. Look at the stats. That's another red pill myth. Men are running away from marriage. No, they're not running away. They're just waiting longer to do it. Instead of getting married in their 20s, they get married in their 30s, usually around age 35, which is the man version of age 33, which I've discussed on my blogs. I can do a whole live stream on that if you want to. I want you to imagine what would happen if 25% of eligible single men, 25% in their 30s, so that's prime, marriage age that a lot of women go after, okay, 30s and 40s, right? Mostly 30s. What if they said on every first date they went on with every woman, without any exceptions, this doesn't matter if it's night game, day game, online dating, meeting women through friends, through work, normal, just meeting people, social circle stuff, 100% of these 25% of men said on every first date, hey, just to let you know, I am never getting married and never having kids, ever, no matter what. And the reason for that is, I think you're a great person, even if we get serious. The reason for that is, I don't want to pay alimony and I don't want to get fucked by unfair child support because I see all my friends getting fucked by this. So just to let you know, even if we get super serious, I'm just being honest with you, I am never going to marry you ever, and I'm never going to have children with you ever. Now, 25% of men, you don't need 100% of men doing this. You don't need 50%. If it's 25, 30%. So that means that every woman across the Western world going on all these first dates kept hearing from men over and over and over and over again, I am never fucking marrying you and I am never having kids with you. And women heard that over and over and over and over. Women who are provider 133 types, okay, heard that over and over and over again. Alimony and things like alimony, communal property, unfair child support would be abolished within 6 months, and it would be abolished by women. Women would march on their state capitals and they would get repealed. They say, fuck you, I want to get married. And if this is what preventing me to get married and find a provider, then abolish these laws. This is insane. Men have the power to change these things if they just make some little changes in their behaviors, but they won't do it because they're all a bunch of pussies. I'm going to say this again. That woman and women like her, and the reason I know this is because I've seen it happen, that woman and women like her do find boyfriends. They do find men to move in with them. They find men to give them money. They find men to fuck them. They find men who will obey their orders and be their surrogate dads. There are 3 kids with 2 different dads. This woman will find a guy. I would bet $10,000 on it. Particularly because she's not even that ugly. I mean, but even if she was, I'll throw this down. Even if she wasn't attractive, she would. I've talked about this. How overweight women, I don't mean, let me back up. Fat women. I don't mean like a little overweight women. Fat women get tons of swipes and likes on the social media apps. They get tons of them. Fat chicks get laid all the time. Now we can have a debate about quality. I didn't say the beta male that this woman will end up with is some high quality alpha male guy. No. It'll be a little dorky beta male with a decent income, and she'll get what she wants. And I'm sure you know women just like this who have boyfriends and husbands, don't you? On a regular basis, you guys complain, my best friend's marrying some 35-year-old dominant bitch. Yeah, because it works. Why does it work? Because of men. The problem starts with men, not with women. And the challenge with Red Pill is that Red Pill is, there's a lot of benefits to Red Pill. A lot of things Red Pill I like. The problem with Red Pill is it is constantly pointing its finger at women and saying women this and women that and women this and women that. All the problem because of women. No, it's not, God damn it. If men just tweak their behaviors a little bit, all these, not all of them, 80 to 90% of these behaviors that we don't like would vanish in 6 months. If men just alpha upped a little bit, not even that much. I said 25%. If 25% of men between the age of 30 and 39 said this on every first date, and you can say it nicely, I promise you, all this alimony, guys getting divorced, raped, guys getting fucked in child support cases, it'd be gone in 6 months. Now, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe gone in 2 years. It'd be gone. But men won't do that. They'll sit there and, watch the next 3-hour Rolo video about how hypergamy this and women that and thoughts this and 304 is that. Nothing against Rollo. Okay. So just be aware of this. Problem starts with you as a man. All right. Again, so another of you is saying, I think it's some guy trolling. My understanding is this is a real profile. That's my understanding. You never know on the internet, but my understanding this is real. I'm abolishing alimony by planning beneath a MGTOW video. Exactly. Exactly. And MGTOW is a separate topic. I'm talking about more red pill, not MGTOW. MGTOW is a whole separate conversation, which I've analyzed in great detail in my blogs. Okay. Would you bother with that woman as an FB if you found her physically attractive? Yes. FBs have only two requirements. She's physically attractive. She's not a bitch to me. She can be a bitch to other people. She can't be a bitch to me. Yeah, if she was hot. I've had a few FBs kind of in that category. Not many, but I've had them. I've had a few dominant, loser, bitchy FBs who are cute. Yeah, I've had them. Wear a good condom. Wear a good condom. Enjoy her physically. Yeah, fine. FBs, there's no requirements. MLTR, no. 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 FB, sure. Yep. Would you not even bother because of her bio? I don't care what's in a woman's bio if she's an FB. Don't care. Do not care at all. And neither should you. I talk about this in my books. There is what I'm drawing a blank here. I teach the cream of the crop model. Most men do the screening model. The screening model is, well, is she a Christian? Well, what does she say in her profile? Well, are her parents still married? Well, like how old is she? What's her IQ? That's what women do. Cream of the crop model is you have sex with every woman you meet who is attractive. Okay, consenting adults only, please. Consenting adults, attractive and not a bitch to you. And then you date or have sex with a bunch of those women as FBs or MLTRs. The best one rises to the top, and you settle down with that one. That's exactly what I did. That's exactly how I found Pink Firefly. It was as close to perfect as you could get for me. I didn't go looking for Pink Firefly and interviewing all these women on, so do you have low ASD? Are you a Christian? I didn't do any of that. Pink Firefly was one of many women I was seeing, and she rose to the top organically. That's how that works. So the idea that marriage is a bad idea is still very outside the mainstream. Correct. Again, the red pill narrative of men are running away from marriage. No, men are delaying marriage. They're not running away. The vast majority of Western men around age 35 eventually fucking get monogamous / married. They do. That's just, they do. So men aren't saying no to marriage. They're saying, wait till I'm 35, then I'll marry you. And I'm just saying, what if 25% of those men, just 25% said, I am said it and meant it. There are some guys who, well, those are guys who are like 27. Said it and meant it. Hey, look, I really like you. And maybe this could be something really special. And they said on the first date, this could be something really special. You seem really cool. I'm just letting you know, I will never, ever marry you. I will never have children with you as long as we have alimony laws and palimony laws and communal property laws and guys get screwed in child support. I'm just not going to do it because I've seen my brother, my best friend, my dad, my this. I'm just not going to go through that. Just let you know. And even the woman said, well, then fuck you, asshole, and left. What if the next day, the guy said the same fucking thing? And then the next date, 2 weeks later, she had another normal guy didn't say it, another guy didn't say it, and then a third guy who said it. She'd be like, oh my God. And then she'd be talking to all of her friends. What's with all these guys? Have you noticed? And they go, oh my God, you too? Yeah. Women would change that shit in a fucking heartbeat. All right. Okay. Now let's get to our business topic. I'm going to share my screen again here. Wait a minute. What is StreamYard doing? That's really weird. Hang on a moment. I'm going to bring up a visual for you, some charts. And again, if you're on the podcast, I will describe what I'm talking about. One moment. Let's see. How am I do this with one screen? Hang on a sec. This is where it's tricky with one screen. Hang on a moment here. Hang on. Normally when I do Unchained CEO videos, I have multiple screens. When I do Alpha 2.0 videos, I have one screen. So I have to be creative. Hang on, I'm going to try this. Presenter view. There we go. That's better. Okay. Boom. Boom. Hang on. Okay. Do you guys see a screen that says my audience? Tell me in the chat if you see a screen that says my audience. Just say, yes, I see it. I will wait. While I'm waiting, I have talked about many times about how, excuse me, how good I see yeses. How, can you use it showing full screen? Yeah, it is. Cool. Okay, cool. All right, good. All right. I have talked about how if you're an online content provider, if you have an online business, having an audience reach is very important. And one of the most important aspects of your audience is your mailing list, for example. But it could also be your social media following, especially if you're doing something unlike me that is not controversial and algorithm friendly. Now, I've also talked about how I personally know, both in my business life and in my personal life, especially Instagram models I have known personally and or have dated and or had sex with, there are YouTubers, Instagram people who have literally millions of followers and don't make shit for money. They don't make shit. People think, wow, this person has 3 million followers. This person must be making a shitload of money. No, they don't. And I know people, matter of fact, a new one I came across last week, I'm not gonna mention names, guys who have like 2,000 YouTube subscribers, that's it. And they're making 7 figures, sometimes more than 7 figures. There's one guy I'm thinking of here who lives in Dubai. I'm not going to say his name. He's a good guy. He's got about 40K YouTube followers. The guy's making hardcore. I think he's making 8 figures. So what I'm going to talk about here is having an audience that you build up over time that likes you and trusts you, and how you monetize that audience. And in my case, without having to have a giant social media following. Because I have said, and now this is just me, if this doesn't apply to you, then don't do this. This is just Caleb's opinion. I want to be I've said this many times, I've been very consistent about this. People say, why do you only have 11,000 subscribers on YouTube? My goal is to be as least famous as possible to achieve my financial objectives. Least famous. I don't want to be famous. I am the opposite of guys like Grant Cardone and Andrew Tate, where they want everyone to know who they are and they want to be super famous. And fuck no, kill me. I'm an INTJ. I stands for introvert. I don't want to be famous. I don't want people to know. I want to live my life and I want people to leave me alone. So I'm a libertarian. I want government just leave me the fuck alone. But I understand that having an audience creates income and is makes it easier to hit my income goals. So I want just large enough in an audience to meet my objectives. And then that's it. That's it. So I'm going to give you a specific example here of my audience that I've been building up since 2009. So how many years ago is that? 2007 was 17 years? No. Hang on. How many? Someone do the math really quick. 2009 to 2024. That is 15 years. Okay, 15 years. So the past 15 years, through various means, originally it was blogging. Later it was Twitter. Then I got off Twitter because Twitter's a fucking cesspool. And then later through a mailing list, YouTube, other platforms like that, LinkedIn. I have built up an audience over time, and that audience brings me an income that is reasonably significant. And I only have my biggest YouTube channel, I have 2 of them, has 11,000 YouTube subscribers. So I am a pussy on YouTube. And yet I don't like talk about how much money I make, but I do okay. Let's say that. Okay. So now I'm going to show you some numbers from my audience in terms of different categories of awareness and buyers within a given audience. I'm going to give you my example. Like the slide says, this is just an example. This is my example. If you do this, yours will look different. Any other content provider on the internet will look different than mine, especially me, because I'm dealing in highly controversial topics that are algorithm unfriendly, but I have been doing this for quite a while, 15 years. I've been around a long, long time on the internet. Long time. Hang on one second. Make sure that we're okay. Also, I'm about to give you some numbers here. These numbers are estimates. They are not precise. Some of these numbers, I can't get precise numbers on these things. I have to do my best to guess. These are educated guesses based on the data that we do have. I have plenty of data, but a lot of it isn't enough to quantify exactly these numbers. So if you are a nitpicker, if you're an outcome-dependent LISIG, you don't like these numbers, They're not precise. Take a deep breath and relax. Okay? All right. Now, first, you need to visualize this as a large circle. This is a series of concentric circles, and I'm describing this for those who are listening on the podcast. So the biggest circle is everyone who has ever heard of you. So in this case, this is every person on the internet who has ever heard of Caleb Jones, Black Dragon, which was my name back in the Pickup Artist days, Alpha Male 2.0, my biggest brand, and either Sovereign CEO or Unchained CEO. They've heard of one of those things. So that means if you were to have a conversation with these people and someone said Black Dragon or Caleb Jones or Alpha Male 2.0, they'd see, if you said, do you know what that is? They go, oh yeah, I know that is. Isn't that guy? And it's often these again, people who just heard of me. They've heard of me peripherally, but they know of me. And sometimes what they know of me is wrong. They may say, isn't that guy that has 20 girlfriends or something and lives in Saudi Arabia or something? You know, they might be wrong what they've heard about me, but they have heard of me. Isn't that really loud guy who talks about, I forget, whatever they say about me. All right. Now, that is approximately, I don't know if you can see this on your screens. I'll verbalize all these numbers. 5.3 million people starting back in 2009. Now, you might think that number is high. You might think that number is low. 5.3 million sounds like a lot of people. It's actually not. Compared to a lot of the big name internet people, it's way past 5. I mean, how many people have heard of Andrew Tate? It's way fucking past 5 million. Not even fucking close, right? How many people have heard of Ben Shapiro? My God. Okay. So even people like, I don't know, Alex Hormozi. It's way past 5 million people. And if you figure there's, almost 8 billion people on planet Earth, 8 billion people, only 5 million know who that's very tiny. Plus, how many people are on the internet? Well, Caleb, doesn't matter. How many people are on the internet? Okay, it's 5.4 billion people on the internet. So out of 5.4 billion, 5 million know who I am. And that's a rough estimate. That could be low. I actually think it's a little low, but not much. And now on the flip side, 5 million people who know who you are have heard of you. That's pretty damn good. Is it hard to make a lot of money if 5 million people have heard your name or heard your brand or have heard of you? Not really. So that's the good news, right? So again, these are people who have heard of me. That's it. They haven't necessarily bought anything from me. They haven't necessarily even consumed my content. They've just heard of me. Oh, Caleb Jones, yeah. Oh, Black Dragon, yeah, I know him. That's the guy that hates monogamy or whatever, right? Isn't that the guy that thinks America is going to die tomorrow? Or again, often it's inaccurate, but they've heard of me. All right, so the next concentric circle inside this big circle are those people who like my content. That doesn't mean they've bought from me. That doesn't mean they like me. They might hate me and hate watch me. Rush Limbaugh back in the day, in the radio days, millions of people turned his radio, including people who fucking hated him. They listened to him. I think a lot of the Disney movies today have a lot of hate watchers. They watch it because they hate it. So they like my content, meaning they don't like me, they like my content. Now, there might be some other people who disagree with everything I say, but I'm funny. So they watch because I'm funny and I'm entertaining to listen to. And yes, there's some other people who like my content and really like me and agree with my stuff and love my stuff and think it's great. You have those too. But this is everybody within that circle. Now, again, for you nitpickers, these circles are not to scale. So if you're a math nerd, take a deep breath and relax. Stop being a Lissick. So this number is approximately 1.2 million people who have seen my content. They've read a blog article of mine at least, or they've seen a YouTube video of mine, or they've seen some shorts of me on TikTok back when I had TikToks or Instagram. They've seen my content and they like it. They don't necessarily regularly consume it, but they've seen it. So they more than know who I am. They know how I look, or at a minimum, they've read my articles. They know my voice in terms of my writing voice, or they listen to a podcast, something. Okay. So that's the next level down. Not just they've heard of me, but they have seen my content and they like it, even if they like it just for the entertainment value. Okay, hang on a sec. All right. 1.2 million. And again, that's an estimate based on the data that I have. Maybe it's too high, maybe it's too low, but it's in the ballpark, right? All right, next. The next concentric circle inside that circle, and these circles get exponentially smaller as you go down into the circles. The next circle inside of that is buyers. These are people who have bought something from me at any point in the past 15 years. Now, this can range from a $7 introductory ebook they've bought all the way to a $65,000 one-on-one coaching package that I don't advertise, that I only offer to high net worth individuals and celebrities. Anywhere in that range, they've bought something. Maybe they bought an ebook, maybe they bought some books, maybe they bought a course, maybe they bought a few courses, maybe they bought Business Builder, maybe they went to one of my events. We have an event coming up in London, calebjones.com/events, and that event's like $87 USD. Okay. It could be something that cheap, or it could be something very expensive. Some of these buyers have given me tens of thousands of dollars. Some have given me $7 and never saw them again. So this is anyone who has given me any amount of money more than a penny in the past 15 years. So I'm not qualifying the level of buyer or the type of buyer, just anyone who's bought anything from me ever in 50. Does that make sense so far? So we're getting down into the higher paid, higher ROI people within the audience. So which one do you think is more valuable to me? Someone who has bought something from me or someone who's just heard about me? Someone who's bought something from me, more important. So as you get into these circles get more and more important as you get narrowed down. So buyers are much more important to me than people who just like my content because I'm funny or because I'm controversial, because I'm interesting, or because their boyfriend told them to watch me. Some women who do that. Okay. So how many people? Somewhere around 180,000 people. 180,000 people approximately have bought something from me at some point, even if they bought it. Now, this is irrelevant of where they bought it. Some of these people went on Amazon and bought The Unchained Man on Amazon, or Audible. They bought the Audible audiobook on one of my books. So they bought something from me from any platform ever. Does that make sense so far? Okay. Now, as you can see, 180,000 people is a hell of a lot less than 1.2 million. It's a tiny fraction of this, right? So the fractions start getting lower and lower as you get closer to the circle. And that's normal. That's okay. That's to be expected. That's why if you want to make more money, you expand the number of people who have heard of you, which expands the number of people who like your content, which expands the number of people who will buy from you. All these circles expand at the same time. And again, my goal is to be as least famous as possible to hit the income goals I want. Your goal may be different. Some of you want to be super famous, or maybe super famous in your niche and you want, 1 billion people to know your name. Like, great. That's fine. You'll make a lot of money if 1 billion people know your name. All right. Next circle. Circle's getting smaller. The next circle is people who I call the active audience. This is just my term that I use in my own internals. The active audience are people who not only like my content, but regularly make an effort to consume my content. They really like it. Okay. And some of them are buyers, some of them aren't, most of them are, some of them are, most of them are, or most of them will eventually become a buyer. So it's a much smaller number than just buyers. Likely, statistically speaking, you are a member of my active audience. If you're hearing the sound of my voice right now, not 100% chance, but there's a 70, 80% chance you're in the active audience. You have listened to other podcasts and or watched other videos of me lately. Likely. Now, it's possible you are in the like my content category or ex-buyer category, and you just stumbled across this live stream or stumbled across this video recording of this or stumbled across this podcast, and you haven't heard my voice for 2 or 3 years. That's possible, less likely. So that is the active audience. These are people who are actively paying attention to me on a regular basis because they want to. More than just, oh yeah, I know who Caleb Jones is, or I watched a video of his, I thought it was interesting 3 years ago. Make sense? Now, the active audience are people who are paying attention to my content. They are not necessarily followers. Up to 60, 70%, for example, of a YouTube channel, the people who regularly watch those videos are not subscribers to that channel. That certainly describes me. There are people or companies I watch on YouTube on a regular basis because I like their content, but I've never subscribed to them. So this is not a number of subscribers. This is a number of people who actively consume the content, okay? That's around 37,000 people. Now, again, you're like, well, Caleb, wait a minute. The Alpha 2.0 channel only has 2,000, 3,000 followers. What did I just say? This is not followers. Now, I do have 11,000 subscribers on one channel, YouTube. I have 3,000 on another YouTube channel. I have 2 Instagrams. One, I think, has 22,000 people. The other one has 18,000 people. I have a dead Twitter account. I have 2 of them. One has 12,000 followers. And that was back in the olden days when having 12,000 people on Twitter was a really big deal. I was one of the most popular. We didn't have Red Pill back then. We didn't have a pickup artist, Manosphere guys way back like 15 years ago on Twitter. I was one of the biggest names on Twitter because 12,000 back in those days was like, whoa, 12,000. So that. So, but again, there are subscribers who never pay attention to your content. There are people who pay attention to your content on a regular basis who are not subscribers. So that's not a relevant number. Again, you're getting the point here. Why subscribers doesn't mean shit in terms of how much money you're making. It means things in terms of algorithm and reach and bragging rights, yes. But in terms of cash in the door you're making, doesn't mean shit. What means this number, 37,000, is much more important to me than any number of subscribers or followers I have on any of my social media. With the exception of my mailing list, because I have many thousand people on my mailing list. That's even more important. That's more important than any fucking social media. And that's a private number. No one's on that unless you verbalize it, right? Okay, so here. Okay. Now again, 37K is a lot less than 180K. Does every person who's ever bought from me pay attention to my content all the time? No. There are people who bought maybe the original version of my online dating ebook back in 2010 and said, oh, this is great. And then never bought anything from me ever again. They exist. Now, a lot of people bought multiple ebooks and so I have pretty good content. But you get my point. Lastly is a category I call core buyers. These are people who, here's how I define these people. These are people who will, let me give the number first before I get into detail. 1,700 people. These are, in my case, this is just my example. These are people who will buy anything I come out with, provided 2 things. They can afford it, and it's something that applies to them. So, there are many of you who want to join Business Builder, but it's several $1,000s. You can't afford it. But you would if you could, right? So you're in the core buyers if you'd buy a lot of my other stuff. Or maybe you're a guy who could easily afford something that's several $1,000s. But let's say, I don't know, you hate Armenia. You hate Armenia. You got plenty of money. You make $85,000 a year, $120,000 a year from your job, right? You're trying to set location to business, and you're trying to do Alpha 2.0 business, Alpha 2.0 relationship models in your life. You bought a lot of my stuff. You love my stuff. You trust me. But you hate Armenia. Are you going to buy my Get Residency in Armenia service? No, not because you can't afford it, because it doesn't apply to you. So core buyers is the smallest concentric circle within your entire audience of those people who will buy pretty much whatever you come out with because they know you and they've had access to you. They've bought other stuff that's helped them, so they trust you. And they will buy anything you come out with, provided they can afford it and it applies to what they're doing. Years ago, there was a viral concept called 1,000 fans. Tim Ferriss popularized it, but he didn't invent it. Someone else did. And they said, if you get 1,000 people to love your stuff, to buy your stuff and love it, and buy all your stuff and recommend you, you can make a 6-figure income or something like that. Okay. Now, if you create your Alpha 2.0 business correctly, high margin, very niched, you don't need anywhere near 1,000 people, not even near it to make a good, strong 6-figure location dependent income. You don't need near 1,000. That was just generic business advice for any business, even those selling like hard products that aren't niched and shit like that. So that number is actually high. And I've got about 1,700 people in my audience out of the 5.3 million who've heard of me, out of the 1.2 million who like my content, out of the 880,000 people who have ever bought anything. So what percentage is that of my buyers? Let's do some quick math. So that is about 0.5%, 0.5% of buyers. No. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen. No, that's right. Active audience. Yeah, so about 0.5% of my buyers are in the core buyers. And that's the group of people in your audience that will propel you to whatever income you want. The core buyers. The buyers, so in my case, the 180,000, that's just extra income that kind of trickles in. It's my core buyers who are my real business, not my core audience. Because again, how many people are my core audience? My active audience. My active audience, 37,000 people. So 1/37th or so, I'm not getting that math exactly right, are my core buyers. Now, there's a lot of people in between buyers and core buyers. So there's a lot of people who, we're talking about extremes, right? Core buyers are people who buy everything or almost everything. Buyers could be some guy who bought one thing 10 years ago. But there's a lot of people in between that who will buy some things, but not others. And you'll make money on them too. Does that make sense? Hang on, I'm checking the technology to make sure it works. That's it. What else do I want to say about this? You need to make a determination, like I did a long time ago, as to if you're going to get an audience online, if you're selling something online and your business is personality based. So let me address that really quick because I got a lot of questions about this. Caleb, do I have to show my face? Caleb, do I have to be an online brand? Do I have to be a personal brand? Do I have? No. Okay. It depends. The answer is depends. If you're selling products, which I don't recommend, I recommend it only for more advanced business owners, but you can try that if you want. If you join the Business Builder, we won't have you do that. But if you sell hard products, no. Back in the days before Jeff Bezos became a household name, did anyone know who Jeff Bezos was when they bought stuff on Amazon? No. Did anyone care? No, you don't have to. But if you're selling consulting, coaching, information products, online services, yes, you should be a brand. You should be a personal brand like I am. Do you need 5 million people knowing your name? No, you don't. You don't even need anywhere near that. I make a lot more money than the minimum $85,000. I make a lot more than that from just my internet streams. I have other income too. So you need to make a determination as to, do I need to be a personal brand? Number one. Then what are my objectives for my personal brand? Is my objective to be as famous as possible? And if that's the case, great, go ahead. If that is your objective, I hope you're not super controversial. And I hope you're dealing with algorithm-friendly topics like trading stocks or AI or Star Wars or something like that. Great, good for you. That's fine. If you're dealing with something that is highly controversial, like both of my brands, and highly algorithm unfriendly, like both of my brands, then it's a little different. So now if your goal is, I want to be super famous within my niche, which I think is a really good goal. That used to be my goal 20 years ago when my niches were different back then. I want to be super well known in my niche. Great, do that. So so you need to base your social media presence and your products and your branding around, I'm going to be super famous in my niche. I'm going to be the go-to guy or the go-to gal, if you're a woman watching this, for this thing in my niche, period. And everyone in my niche will know my name. Great. Then you should do that. If you are more like me and you're like, fuck being famous, I don't want to be famous, blah, but I like money and I don't mind being a personal brand, and I'll show my face and I'll just copy Caleb's model and be as least famous as I can to hit my income goals, then you better precisely follow my advice for things like Alpha 2.0 Business Structures and 90-Day Business Builder, where I talk about you better have a narrow niche. You better only sell high margin coaching, consulting products, membership services, things like that. You can't sell hard products. I'm sorry, you can't. You can later, but not initially. You better follow exactly what I'm doing. Or another model is, a lot of these crypto nerds do this. I want to be famous, but I don't want anyone to know my face. So I'm just going to be an avatar. There's this weird guy on YouTube. He wears this mask, this white mask with all these little squares in it. And you can tell he's probably a pretty good looking guy. He's dressed nice. And he doesn't want anyone to know his face. He has a really good voice. And he does like red pill videos. He doesn't want anyone to know his face, excuse me. Fine. It's fine. It seems to work for him. So then you calibrate your brand based on that. I was making six figures on the internet selling Black Dragon branded dating and relationship products for men before I ever came out, quote unquote, as Caleb Jones. It's fine. Worked fine. It is better. Let me say this. I always say this. It's better if you do show your face. You will make more money faster if you have the balls to show your face. But if you're just terrified, then don't. Do something else. But you need to make these decisions on what kind of audience you have. How big do you want it? And as always, everything I talk about will assist you. Narrowly niching, high margin things only. It's really those two. Narrow niche, solving a problem, a niche, a problem they already have, and only selling high margin items and not selling anything else. And I say this again. I am regularly approached by people saying, hey, Caleb, you should sell this. Hey, can you sell this? No. What's your margin? 17%. Well, fuck you. No, I like 5,000%, 300%, 500%. I like that. Worst case scenario with our more complex shit, I want 50%, 60% with a back end, which raises that 50, 60%. Could even be more than 100%. That's a worst case scenario. Okay. What else want to say? I'm on that. I think that's it. There's one other thing I wanted to say about this. I don't remember. Fuck it. Let's answer questions. Actually, before I answer questions, I'm going to share one more thing. Hang on. Hang on. One more thing, and I will get to your questions. Hang on. Doop, 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 doop. Hurry up. Stupid computer. I love the internet. It's so great. 90-day Business Builder has just opened up. We just opened it up yesterday. Your deadline to schedule a call is this Sunday night. That would be May what? I don't even know. Whatever Sunday night is. Let me explain what this is. So a lot of you already know what this is. I'm going to go through this really quick. And we've made some changes. We always make changes. We always improve this thing. It's always getting better. It is a 12-week program, but it's actually longer than that. I'll cover that in a second. It's a 12-week program where we work with you. We have a number of coaches. Like we have about 6, 7 different coaches, plus myself, plus Billy. We work with you every day, 7 days a week, to start from zero. If you have no idea where to get started, I've never started business in my life. I've had a job my whole life. I don't know what I'm doing. This is for beginners, to get you from zero to the money within 90 days. Zero within several paying clients in 90 days, making several $1,000s within 90 days. 90 days. 12 weeks. We've had people do it much faster than 12 weeks. We've had people do it in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, some in 12 weeks, some in more than 12 weeks, whatever. So you can quit your fucking job and be free. And this is all only location independent income. So you live the lifestyle we're talking about here. It's not just a bunch of videos, although it's that too. We guarantee you will be making real money within 12 weeks. And if you are not, we will work with you forever until we do. Now, it's a 12-week program. However, to be really honest, I was debating whether to say this publicly. We're very lax about the 12-week thing. We have several people, more than several, who have been in the program more than 12 weeks, and we just let them stay because we like them and they're doing good work and we work with them longer. So I say 12 weeks, and it technically is 12 weeks. After 12 weeks, the program is over. But there are some scenarios we can stay a little longer. I'm just saying. Okay. And again, if you're not making the money in 12 weeks, we will work that. Our guarantee is we will work with you forever until you make at least $1,000 in your first client. Because your first $1,000 is the hardest money you'll ever make. The first $1,000 in your first business. After that, it gets way easier. The first customer is the hardest. You get the first customer, first paying client, you're like, oh, I can do this. Then you get the second one, easy, third one. And by the third one, you're off the races. And our job in Business Builder is to get you over that hump, to get you that first 1, 2, 3 clients or customers. This is wrong. We do not have a trial period right now. Sorry. So ignore that. You can make payments. It's several $1,000s, but you can make payments depending on what country you live in and your credit. It can be anywhere between 3 months of payments and 12 months of payments. So you can make payments perfectly fine. We're very flexible about it. We'd rather have you in the program making payments than not having you in the program at all. So that's fine with me. You get 3 live Zoom sessions. These are live sessions with a human, 3 per week for 12 weeks. That's 36 Zoom sessions. Now, this is actually not true. We've added more that we don't publish. It's actually about 4 or 5 sessions a week, live sessions with a coach, with a specialist, whatever area they're teaching. We have niche coaches. You got me, you got Billy, you got Jeff. We have some marketing coaches. We have phone sales coaches. We have an amazing mindset coach, which is really critical. That's one of our biggest problems in this program is, oh, I'm scared. Why would everyone hire me? Because men are all betas now and women are too. And so we help you get over that hump mentally. You get those live. And then if you miss the session, you get a recording. The recordings are yours forever. All the videos, recordings, everything are yours forever, even after the 12 weeks, even after you leave. It's yours forever. The base camp is all yours forever. You get our base camp, which is our task management tool, project management tool. You get free access to that for the rest of your life. You can manage your whole business in there, and it's yours for the rest of your life. We give it to you. It's very expensive. We give it to you. It's free, part of the program. You have a structured curriculum with very structured to-do lists every week and very specific benchmarks to do every week. Every week, we push you to the next part of the process. So we focus on niche. What niche? We help you work on that for like 5 weeks. Then we focus on what you're going to sell. Then, and this is if you're a beginner. And again, this is for specifically coaching, consulting, or a service. Those are the only 3 things we'll let you sell in this program because those are the best things to sell for a new business owner. Coaching, consulting, or a service, high margin stuff. You only need 1 or 2 clients to make a lot of money. Okay. So then we focus on your website, your payment buttons, crap like that. That's the easy part. And then marketing, getting your first client or 2. We have accountability coaches who help you every step of the way, literally 7 days a week in Basecamp and over WhatsApp in some cases. And so we hold you accountable to the assignments. If you fall behind or have trouble, we come in and we help you. Hey, you're having trouble? Let us know. Literally 24/7 coverage now. We didn't have that about a year ago. We didn't have 24/7 coverage. We do now. 24/7, we have someone helping you. Usually that person is Jeff. Sometimes it's Billy. Sometimes it's Cliff. Other people. Okay. There is about 25 step-by-step training videos at every step of the process, most of them done by me, that are unavailable anywhere else in no other video course that I sell anywhere, including the bundle you guys got. It's only for 90-Day Business Builder because it only applies to that program and that curriculum. They're awesome. And we add new ones all the time. You also get unless you bought the bundle, it doesn't matter. We throw in the Alpha 2.0 business course. That's about 6 hours of content, how to create location independent business. We throw in the how to get clients course. That is several videos with 17 ways on how to get your client, both free and paid. We also throw in Big Income from Little Work. That's my book. I've got on how to set up location independent business. We throw that stuff in as soon as you sign up. 90day.ca. That date is wrong. Ignore that date. I need to update that. 90day.ca, 90day.ca. You have about 4.5 days as of this recording to sign up to get in. We start a week from next Saturday. We start on the 1st of the month. Cool? Cool. All right. The 90-Day Business Builder is my #1 flagship product of anything I have on the internet in all my brands, including Alpha Male 2.0. As a matter of fact, I am consolidating my companies, even my online companies, even further. We're going to start divvying out certain things we're doing and hand them off to other companies. I'm actually working on that right now with several people, where we're going to totally focus on Alpha Male 2.0 content and then Business Builder. And that's it. That's it. That's how important this is to me. It is to our company. It's the most important thing we do in this company by far on the internet. I have several companies. This company, it's Business Builder. It's it. All my resources, all the coaches we work with, most of the money I'm spending in my company, most of my blood, sweat, and tears, not just mine, but a lot of other people, goes into Business Builder, nothing else. We are here to make sure that you quit your fucking bullshit 9-to-5 corporate job so you can be free. You can't be free if you have a job. You can't be free if you have a business that's location dependent. And our job, my mission is to get you there. That's why we have this program. That's it. It's the only reason I did it. And a bunch of you are listigs, which you're not doing anything. You're just consuming content, not doing anything. This program will make you fucking do it and get you the cash in your pocket. And if you don't do it, we'll work with you forever until you do. Okay. All right, hang on. Let me do one quick thing. Let's put a banner on here, and then I will answer your questions. Sorry about this. I should have had this all ready to go. I was busy writing blog articles before this. God damn. Hang on. Let me change something here. 90day.ca deadline Sunday night. For 90-day business builder deadline Sunday night. Save. Ticker. Okay. All right. Let's do your questions. Sorry about that. All right. I'm going to scroll the top here and get the questions I didn't do. And then I can't hang out for super long today, but I'll do my best. Hang on. After having sex with a woman, hang on, let me get my water. I live in the desert. What do you expect? After having sex with a woman for the first time and sending her home, she got upset that I didn't send a text about her safety. Yeah, she's being a dominant a little bit, a little pushy, but yeah. Was there likely behavior in her that I'd miss in the courting phase? Probably. You were just looking at our boobs, weren't you? Yes, I've said many times, this is not the 80s. You can't play it cool after you have sex with a woman. You've got to be on it. You can't play it cool and then text her 3 days later. No. Later that evening is a good idea. Then absolutely minimum the next day. Minimum. She also sounds like she's over 33. Was she over 33? Because that sounds like an over 33. No complimenting a girl's appearance before lock-in. But if she's complimenting your appearance a lot, just say thanks, or can you return the compliment if genuine? No. Often that's why women do it. Sometimes she'll compliment the fuck out of your appearance because she wants you to say something about her appearance, which will damage her attraction. No complimenting a woman's physical appearance until you have sex with her twice. If you can't stand it, and some of you fuckers can't, you have to compliment her, then compliment her on something that is non-physical. You have a very unique energy. It's really fun to be around you. Do something like that. Not like you're really pretty too. No, it's stupid. Okay. If a girl states she's non-monogamous on or before the first date, those are funny. I don't get very many of those, but more and more now, right? How does that change the Alpha 2.0 model for MLTR? It doesn't change anything at all. Do we just not have to give the talk now or modified version? It doesn't change a goddamn thing. Because just because she says non-monogamous doesn't mean she won't start getting jealous when she starts liking you in 5 weeks. That doesn't mean a goddamn thing. What have I said 10,000 times for 15 years? Always in a dating and relationship context, not business, in a dating context, always ignore what women say. Only pay attention to what they do. Because as Mystery said 20 years ago, and he's right, what women say they want and what women actually want are two different things. Why does general sex talk with a girl before lock-in not cause ASD, but getting personally sexual in what you say to each cause ASD, then they ghost? I don't quite understand your question. There is a difference between talking about her past sex life and then making out with her. Those are two very different things. One will spike ASD, the other will spike attraction and desire and curiosity. Women love talking about sex. It turns them on in many cases to talk about sex. Okay? So that will actually help you. But then if you make out with her, you actually diffuse the sexual tension that you were ramping up by giving her sex talk. So the way it works is you give her sex talk on the first date if you can. You don't have to. It ramps up her sexual tension. If you then make out with her or grab her ass or start sucking her boobies, you deflate the tension like air out of a balloon. You want to leave her with the tension still high so you can meet up with the second date and have sex with her. That's how it works. It seems like my MLTRs and FBs aged 26 to 45. That's a big age range. That's a big difference. Get tired of just having sex and want more. Well, over 33, yes, that's guaranteed. Over 33, it's guaranteed. Very hard to maintain an FB over 33 unless she already has a boyfriend and you're the guy on the side. Very difficult. Under 33, some will, some won't, most will. Could this be a thing of the times, my area, or maybe my frame is off? No, it's a thing of the age of the women. 45, that means you're dating plenty of women in their 40s and 30s. They're not going to go for that. And can men and women just be friends, presuming both are attractive? Can they be friends? Of course. Is it a good idea? No. I've written several articles, my blogs about this. And if yes, what benefit would it bring a man to give non-sexual attention and just be friends with a girl? Never, ever, 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 ever be friends with a woman you want to have sex with that you're not having sex with. I have at least 3 articles on my blog, alphamale20.com/blog. And then search on, go to the archive and search on Friend Zone. And I have a whole thing about that. Then I had a whole bunch of guys say, but it's fun to be friends platonically with hot girls. And then I have a whole article responding to those idiots. Never, ever, ever. They say never. I'm saying never. Never spend time in a platonic friendship with a woman you want to fuck that you're not fucking. You are insane if you do that. You are beta to the extreme. Why are you doing this? Caleb, you have no female friends? I have plenty of female friends. None of them I want to have sex with. None of them. Be friends with old ladies. Great. Be friends with like older women or overweight women. Great. They're great. They're great. Don't be friends with some smoking hot girl you want to fuck. Why are you spending time with that when you could be having sex with someone who's hot? I have never done that in my life. And the only exception is like 1 or 2 women I've known for like 30 years. And because like we had high school together or something, but I don't hang out with these women. I mean, I can say hi on if they say hi to me on Facebook, I'll say hi, but that's it. I'm not going to hang out. Never do that. It is beta beyond belief. It is one-sided beyond belief. You are asking for beta male status when you do that shit. A 45-year-old TikTok model is saying she doesn't like that I invited her home after 4 coffee dates and that I'm only looking for sex. She's 45. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anything I could do with this, or is this a lost cause? It depends on what you've done. 4 dates? You went on 4 coffee dates and you haven't had sex with her yet? Dump her. Move on. You're wasting your time. Let's see. How come you still say cerveza sickness? Fuck the algorithm. I don't like the big banner it puts on my videos. I don't care about the algorithm, but it puts a big COVID-19. Whoops, I just did it. There you go. You made me do it. It puts a big COVID-19 banner. That's why I don't like it. Okay, hang on. Couldn't you just ignore the... Oh, I addressed that already. Would you bother? No, okay. Got a Dutch and Russian passport. That's an interesting combination. And Armenian residency. Cool. How beneficial would it be for me to turn the Armenian one into a passport as well, assuming I wouldn't want to live in Armenia? Go for it. I'm doing it. Yeah. Here's my default answer. If you have the option of getting another passport, go ahead and get it. Why not? It's not going to hurt you. Armenia is never going to tax you. It's Armenia. So go for it. Right? If it's not too much trouble. You already have 2. Dutch passport, not good. Russian passport's fine. So sure, get another one. Morocco and Casablanca will be the future for green energy. I have no idea. I've never heard that. Has so-and-so ever contacted you for business advice? I don't answer those questions. Because if I say yes or no, then if I say no, then if I answer, so ask someone else, I say, if you ask me again about someone else and I say I'm not answering it, then you know the answer is yes. So whenever anyone says, do you know this famous person? Have you worked with this famous person? Have you fucked this famous person? My answer is always, I can't answer that question. There are certain personas you mentioned that are unattractive to women. Correct. One is fat bearded bikers. Correct. I am not fat and my beard is trimmed. Okay to use my motorcycle in my action photo for online dating. I'm leaning toward no. You could have your motorcycle in your third photo, but riding your motorcycle doesn't show you at all. So your third photo needs to be an action shot, but it still needs to show you. If you're hunched over your motorcycle riding down the street, that doesn't really show you. You can't see your face, your body. So no. And I didn't say bikers. I said fat bearded dorky bike, not dorky, fat bearded bikers. I didn't say bikers. Biker can be very attractive to a certain type of one. Cool, but you can be a cool badass biker. Sure. I saw a video from 60 Minutes saying that Dubai is a gangster paradise. Thoughts? I don't know what that means by gangster paradise. I mean, like, and then by life living in a gangster's paradise. What does that mean? Are there lots of gangsters living in Dubai? No. People who are in prison are just a bunch of emotional, weak people who are dysfunctional individuals for society. Is Dubai prison worse than USA prison? Most prisons are used to worse USA prisons, yes, which is good. You don't want prison to be a nice experience. Have you been in a situation when women say to you to come inside her? Are you kidding? Yes, many times. Yes. Have you done it? Yes, under controlled conditions. I've talked about this before. Yep. I've done that to a lot of women, but it was under highly controlled conditions where I was 100% or 99% safe. Not just some random chick who said, come in me. No. And when they say, fuck me harder repeatedly, any stories? Yeah, I have plenty of women to say, fuck me harder. Yeah. Most don't because I fuck pretty hard. But I remember one. Yeah, I remember. You want stories. So one of my main FBs in the United States about 6 years ago met one of her best friend, referral game. Her best friend was really cute face. Little skinny for my chick, but really cute face. So I started seeing her, and she was a big fuck me harder girl, like hardcore. Like, I'm fucking the shit out of you. Really fucking hard. Fuck me harder, harder, harder. I mean, she couldn't come unless you just fuck the shit out of her. But she's kind of an extreme case. And hilariously, talking about coming inside, did that with her. Under highly controlled conditions, don't do this. And hilariously, within 3 or 4 weeks of seeing me the last time, she immediately married some beta male and had immediately cranked out 2 kids with him. I'm like, did you have any idea what your wife was doing just 3 or 4 weeks before you? These beta males have no idea. They have no idea what these women are doing, what their women are doing or just did. They have no idea. Some of them do have an idea. They don't care. I don't know. How should a man in his late 30s figure out whether he wants kids? You ask yourself, good question. You ask yourself, do I want kids? You ask yourself, on a scale from 1 to 10, how badly do I want kids? And then you stop and shut up and listen to the answer. And your brain will tell you 3, 7, 9. Your brain will tell you. And I've said my rule is if it's under a 8, you don't do it in the modern era. Okay. You don't do it. And then you just wait 5 years and ask yourself again. So now you're 45. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about 8. Well, then maybe it's time to look at that. That's how you do it. And as I said 10,000 times, if you're going to stay in the collapsing Western world, why the fuck are you doing that? You should not have any kids unless you're a millionaire or make a strong 6-figure income. Because that's how much it's going to cost, you idiot. Otherwise, get the fuck out of the collapsing West. Go to Cambodia, have all the kids you want. Or wherever. What rare qualities do you think PF has that qualifies her for OLTR status that very few other women have? Oh my God, there's so many. Let me list the ways. Number 1, low jealousy. Number 2, low drama. Number 3, virtually no demands. That guy who said, hey, why didn't you check on me and on my safety? Pink Firefly would never send a text like that, ever. That's just not what she's like. So on the demanding scale, she is a 0. Amazing, perfect. Next one, low ASD for a woman in her 30s. I met her when she was 33. Now, did I fuck her on the first date? No. Did I fuck her on the second date? No. ASD. Got her on the third. And then she was all about, on our first date, she was talking about strip clubs because we do sex talk, right? So I follow my models. She was talking about how she loves to go to strip clubs and sex clubs and how that's fucking hot. And she's a 33-year-old woman talk about this. I'm like, ooh, okay, this is weird. So low ASD for, I'm not saying zero ASD, low ASD for women in her 30s. Now today, she's 43, 44. I keep forgetting. She's probably not how old my wife is. 33, 43, 44. ASD is sky high now. I mean, fucking hell. So there's a few. Shit. Pink Firefly is the most amazing woman in the world. I mean it. I've told her this. Amazon KDP for ebooks versus selling your own books, since you don't need to market as much via social media on Amazon. You should do both. If you're writing books, it should be everywhere. It doesn't matter how niche you are. It should be on Barnes & Noble. It should be on Amazon. And it should be on your own stuff. All my books have always been on both platforms, Amazon and my stuff, both. And you won't make as much money on Amazon, but it gives you a wider reach. And it also gives you more legitimacy. There's a number of reasons you should be on Amazon for your brand. And it's not to make money. I make very little money on anything anyone buys on Amazon or I think a little more on Audible, a little more, not much. Thoughts on CoffeeZilla? Go to my video, go to the Unchained CEO YouTube channel, search on the haters video. I do an entire segment on CoffeeZilla. Watch that video. Do you think him and people like him believe most online courses products are scams, or is just that the belief of the general public? No, most people do not think like CoffeeZilla. No, there's a strong percentage of the internet that feels that way. Yes. But are most people like CoffeeZilla? No. Fame seems to have bigger downsides than upsides. It does, in my opinion. And I have seen many famous actors, especially in these actor roundtables, where they got a bunch of famous people like, Will Smith and Robert De Niro and Alec Baldwin, famous people getting around and they just talk. You listen carefully. They talk about how they don't like being famous. Being famous sucks. The guy who was Borat, what's his name? That actor, he was talking about being famous is awful. He hates it. Yeah. Now, there are some people who like being famous. Tom Cruise probably likes being famous. Grant Cardone likes being famous. Sure. I think Tony Robbins probably likes being famous. I would hate it. This will also depend on your personality or Myers-Briggs type. You're an INTJ, you probably don't want to be famous. And I'm an INTJ, or you're similar to that. But if you're ENFP, probably pretty good. No. Also, it's an extra problem for me. It may not be for you because of the unconventional lifestyle I live. I am non-monogamous, strike one. I live a 5 flags lifestyle, international, strike 2. So in terms of my exposure for possible problems, I don't want to be super famous. Being a private entity in the future will be close to impossible in the future. People will have to be comfortable with revealing their faces. Good point. Valid. That's correct. Yep. By the way, excellent work and information as usual, Caleb. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm 19 and I need to study to finish my bachelor's in AI. You don't need a bachelor's in AI. You're wasting your time. I know you don't want to hear that. You won't change. Can I full-time start to escape the West? Is that okay? If I were in college right now, I would immediately drop out of college and start my own Alpha 2.0 business, working at a shit job if I had to. I would not go to college. I've said this 10,000 times for 10,000 reasons. The only people who should go to college in the modern era are people who want to be doctors. And it's not just people who want to be doctors. You want to be doctors because you want to be a doctor in your heart, not because your dad or your mom said you need to be a doctor or because you'll make more money as a doctor. Other than that, no one should go to college anymore. Nobody. I don't care if it's AI. I don't care if it's STEM. You go to college to get a good job. You don't go to college to be free. That's one of many disadvantages. College is a ripoff. It's awful. No. How do you niche a drop shipping e-commerce niche? I drop ship, but want to teach people what I know about the added frame. I don't understand your question. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You can sell niched hard products. So I know a guy who was selling motorcycle apparel for men. So stuff you wear, motorcycle gloves, motorcycle jackets, motorcycle accessories. That's all he was selling. So that's reasonably niched, but it was hard products, right? Because he could sell a jacket, or you could sell a jacket for motorcycle enthusiasts, specifically for motorcycle riders. You could charge a lot more money for the second one, right? Much better margins. I've been told I could podcast like Theon the comedian, Theo Vaughn. I don't know what you mean by Theon. Been advised to drop 5 videos, 50 seconds long, daily thoughts. That is one strategy. It's not a strategy I use, but that would work for me. But yes, that's one strategy you could use as long as you're niched. If you're just trying to be a comedian, no. Being a comedian is not niched. No, 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 no. If you have a narrow niche, helping that narrow niche solve a problem that is their biggest problem they already have, and then you want to drop 15-minute videos and do the Gary Vee thing, great. You don't do the Gary Vee thing until you are niched, micro-niched, solving a major problem the niche already has. Then yes. If you just want to be a comedian, no. You living in Paraguay, don't you worry about the cartel. There's no cartels in Paraguay. That's a Mexico thing. Especially if you are rich, for example, in Mexico, the government gives you private information to the cartel. That's Mexico, not Paraguay. Damn, I can't imagine I can't even imagine what that feeling of getting over that first client will be like. I'm excited. Dude, I still remember it. 1993 in my part-time when I got my first client. And then when I went full-time in 1996, my first real client. Oh, yeah, it's great. Can't do 90 business with this round. I fucked up my finances last month. Cool. Can you make 6 figures with less than 100 buyers? Absolutely. Depending what you're selling. What if what you're selling is $10,000? What if it's $5,000? What if it's $7,000? Yeah. Are you kidding? No problem. Consultants. You can make 6 figures with 3 clients if you're a consultant. If you're a coach, a little harder. I know lots of consultants, and I was one. I was making hardcore 6 figures with 5 clients, 5 customers. That's it. Yeah. The answer is yes. I have a friend with benefits that's a virgin. You do not have a friend with benefits that's a virgin because you're not having sex with her. FB means a woman you're having sex with. You can't have an FB if you're not fucking her. So you know you don't. But does oral. That's not an FB. Oral isn't sex. Sorry. That's a friend who gives you oral. That's not really an FB. Is that cool to be friends with? Sure. You're getting some sexual benefit from her. Sure. That's okay. I'm talking about platonic. Oral sex is not platonic. We're talking about platonic friends. If you're platonic, if your female friend is giving you blowjobs, that's not platonic. So that's okay. But why are you settling for just oral? Get in there. You think I would put up with that? I wouldn't. Long term. I have a fantasy that I hire a hot woman for my Alpha 2.0 business. A lot of people have this fantasy. Don't do it. Then make her my intimate, sweet submissive, like you did with Billy. What? I'm not having sex with Billy. And Billy's not submissive. So I don't know if you're making a joke. I assume you're making a joke. Any advice? I don't have sex with Billy. Billy is not submissive. She's a dominant. Billy would kick your ass. So I don't know what you're talking about. Outside of that, do not fuck anyone you work with. It is a hard and fast rule. Go to my blog. I have it on there. Never have sex with a woman you work with. Ever. Never, ever. Don't do it. The only exception is you have a horrible job, not at your own business, a job, and you hate it, and you don't care if you get fired. Then do whatever you want. Outside of that, don't. Don't fuck women at the office. Don't hire women and fuck them. So many of you make that mistake. So many of you. I mean, a lot of you, including some of you I do one-on-one coaching with, several of you guys. And I've had this happen with several guys I've done coaching with. They come and go, okay, so yeah, so I know what you're gonna say. Susie works for me, so we started fucking. And then it always blows up in your face. No, never, ever, ever do it. Apart from the cost of the actual 90-day business builder program, how much money is needed approximately to start and build that business for the first $1,000 profit? Less than $300. Probably not even that. If your children were under 18 and you wanted to get the jab, would you allow them to? Under 18 wanted to get the jab. That's a good question. Let me think about that. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't let them. No, I would not. Do you need to demand to expand your house? Do you need to demand to expand your house in South America, like to put a veranda? I don't understand your question. Please rewrite your question. Have you heard of the Indian invasion of Canada? Yes, and it's United States too. It's all the West. They work harder and they're smarter. Yeah. All these international students from India are coming to Canada and taking all the jobs. Yes. Yeah, that's been happening for a long time. This is anything new. Yes. And flooding the welfare system. No, Indians are not flooding the welfare system. That's false. That's right-wing narrative. Thoughts. They're not flooding the welfare system. Those aren't Indians. Those are other nationalities that we could name, couldn't we? We're not going to, but we could. Those aren't Indians flooding the welfare system. Indians are making money. There was just a video where they went through in the United States now, not Canada. What is the highest income race in the United States? What's the highest income race? People think it's whites. Nope. Chinese? Nope. Indians. Indians make more money as a race than anyone else in the United States. What's the second highest earning race? Okay, white people. Nope. Asians, non-Indian Asians. What's the third highest paid race in the United States? White people? Kind of, not really. Jews. Jewish white people, okay? What's the fourth highest paid race in the United States? Normal, non-Jewish white people. Not normal. Non-Jewish white people. So white people, you're number 4. You're not number 1. And all these lefties like, oh, white privilege. What about Indian privilege, Asian privilege, and Jew privilege? What about that? Never hear about that. That's strange. And then you go below, what's below whites? Hispanics in terms of income, and then blacks. No. What type of guy persona has the biggest market of women interested? This is from your coaching experience of guys you've helped out. I'd have to go through the list of personas. I don't know. That should not be a question you're asking. Why? Can you just pick a persona and be that persona? No. What do I say in my books? You pick a persona that is congruent to you. I could never be a biker. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. I made a joke a few weeks ago about I dated a woman and she liked cowboy guys. That was one of the guy types she liked. And I said, oh, I should wear a cowboy hat. She's like, no. She looked at me and she was like visceral, like, no, you couldn't, no, you wouldn't make that work. You're not a cowboy. So you can't just pick a persona. There's 2 or 3 attractive personas that you'd work with and you pick one of them. So it doesn't matter what the most popular one is. You might not be able to do it. My persona back in the day was evil James Bond, asshole James Bond, a while ago. And also kind of paternal older man for the younger girls. Safe paternal older man. A couple weeks ago, you said to remind you to tell us a funny D&D story on a later Alpha 2.0 stream. Can you lay a funny story on us? Do I have time? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can tell you a lot. I had a group. We had a group that we played role-playing games, mostly Dungeons & Dragons for years. And we played several different games. We mostly stuck with Dungeons & Dragons. We also played Star Frontiers. I'm really dating myself. This is 80s. Star Frontiers, we played that. We played Robotech, the Robotech art. We played that. We played, what else we played? Mostly those. So there's about 6, 7, 8 guys, okay, over a period of many years. There was a guy in the group named Jimmy, and Jimmy was the most beta male of the group. He was the shortest. He was short little guy, squeaky little voice, nice guy, but total beta. And all the other guys picked on him. I was always the DM. So they were all the players. I was always the DM or GM. And so they would always pick on Jimmy, and they always kill Jimmy. So the first thing they did is Dungeons and Dragons. Jimmy approaches me. They're making new characters. And he said, Caleb, I want to be a fairy or a pixie. I want to be a pixie. I said, Jimmy, are you kidding? Are you fucking kidding me, Jimmy? What the fuck? I mean, you're getting picked on enough for being a pussy beta. You're going to be a pixie? Well, I want to be a pixie because they can turn invisible and they can fly. And because there was no class in D&D called pixie. I had to make it up, right? So I said, okay, you could be a goddamn pixie because the rest of these guys were like orcs and barbarians and, you know, they would murder people. And that was the rest of the group, little alpha, a little group of nerdy alphas. And so I'm like, look, you could be a fucking pixie, but whatever happens, happens. I know, you know, they pick on you, they kill you, and you're pro. So, of course, what they do is they later in a game session, the other players, other guys in the group capture Jimmy and they rip off his wings. Great. So then fast forward a few years later, Jimmy comes with a new set of characters now. And Jimmy's like, I'm going to make a band. There's a character class in D they called a bandit. It was like a cross between a fighter and a thief, right? And he's going to be a girl. I said, oh, God, Jimmy, please. Do you have to be a girl? Yeah, I want to be a girl. It'd be fun. All right, Jimmy. So, of course, what they do is all the guys get Jimmy drunk and they take turns running train on Jimmy at night, raping Jimmy's female bandit. Okay, that's the next thing. Then we play Star Frontiers. Okay. So Star Frontiers is a space game. It's like Star Wars, right? So they're all like, you know, warriors with guns and shit. And thank God Jimmy's the normal guy with a gun. Thank God. Well, one day, you know, while Jimmy has, they send Jimmy, go scout down that hallway and we'll give us the signal. And they're like winking at each other and saying each other notes. Jimmy's like, okay. So he goes down the hallway and they shoot him in the back of the legs, right? For fun. They go, they don't want to kill him, but they shoot him. So Jimmy's in the hospital, right? So they're like, we got to go visit Jimmy and, you know, bring him some flowers and shit, right? So they go to the hospital and they're talking to Jimmy and they're surrounding his bed. And one of the guys, a guy named Garrett's like, hey, Jimmy, how you doing, bro? Doing okay? Sorry, we shot you by accident. Wink, wink. So he looks at me and he goes, so you know those grenades I have? I take one of those grenades, I throw it onto the bed. All right, Jimmy, we'll see you later. And they blow a grenade under his bed. And Jimmy actually survives because he had a lot of hit points. Anyway, I could go on. There's just a little taste of our adventures with, I could write a whole book. Matter of fact, there's a series of books, audio books that I have on my phone that I listen to when I want to cool off or just completely relax and not think of anything important or business. And it's called, what's it called? The author's name is Robert Bevan, and it's like 8 or 9 books. And they're all books about these nerds who play Dungeons and Dragons, and they go into the Dungeons and Dragons world. And it's like really vulgar, and there's lots of Dungeons and Dragons jokes. What's it called? If any of you know what I'm talking about, you can look up Robert Bevan, and it's called, God damn it, it's called, I know the names of the books, like Galleons of Seamen, you know, shit like that. Anyway, those are really funny. Very similar stories to that. So, you know. PF is not like the rest, TM, LOL. Well, that's not true. I know what you're talking about. If Pink Firefly died tomorrow, could I find another one like her? Yes, I could. So everyone's replaceable. I love her to death. I love her more than I've ever loved a woman in my life. But if she died tomorrow, could I say, I'll never find someone as good as Pink Firefly? No, of course I could. And the reverse is true. If I died, could she find a guy as good as me? No, that'd be hard. She'd have to go on a lot of fucking first dates. But she could. She could. We're all replaceable. Thoughts on how to not linger in bed in morning and get up fast? Oh, what a good question. I've had a challenge with that years ago. I don't have a challenge with that anymore unless I'm feeling really shitty. What did I do? God, what did I do? Get up fast. It wasn't a technique. One thing is you plan out your day the night before. That's really important. And you have really big, exciting goals and a mission. You're excited to get up. So I'm excited to get up in the morning. Most mornings, there are exceptions. I'm excited to get to work. I'm excited because I have big goals I'm super fucking pumped about. If you move to Russia, would you recommend getting citizenship? It depends if you're doing 5 flags or not. If you're doing 5 flags, you cannot be a citizen of where you live. So what I would do if I moved to Russia is I would get the citizenship and then I would move out of Russia. So I would do. I'm with a perfect 10 girl who wants me to dress as an elephant and take her from behind. I'm pretty sure I'm making a joke. When making a short list of must-haves for an OLTR, how do you know if you're being too lenient or demanding? It's not relevant. You make your list. Now, must-haves, you can't have 10,000 must-haves. Then you're just being an idiot. You can't have a list of 27 must-haves. You keep the list as short as you can, but you keep it real. What is your must-have? Every guy has a list of must-haves. You have a list of must-haves in your head now. You do. You have them. What are my must-haves? No fucking drama. None. That is a must-have. I don't care if you're Scarlett Johansson. No drama, period, or very little. And then another must-have, because of my lifestyle, low jealousy. If you're jealous all the time about me having sex, that's not going to work. So those are must-haves. Okay. Another must-have with me, you better be hot. You can be older. I don't care how old a woman is. I would marry a woman who's 55, as long as she was hot, not fat. You got to be hot. I have to be sexually aroused in order to have sex because I'm a man. Women don't need to be sexually aroused to have sex. That's why they invented lube. Men do. So I'm going to have a few must-haves. But I don't have 27 must-haves. That's a woman over 33 looking for her next husband to divorce. Like the one I just showed you a little bit ago on this podcast. Should I study under a former #1 Australian real estate agent while working toward 9-day business builder, or is the real estate thing a waste of time? Only if you can somehow do the real estate in a location-independent fashion. Otherwise, no, don't do it. I don't know how you would do that. There might be a way to do it. How could you be a real estate agent, be 100% location-dependent, where you could be literally outside of Australia but sell stuff in Australia? I don't know the answer to that question. So if you can't figure that out, no, don't do it. I like how you're patient with our dumb asses. Well, with some of you. I was asking, how do I make a service-based drop shipping business? Oh, I made over 6 figures drop shipping, but now I want to teach others. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, you weren't clear. All right. You niche to the exact type of drop shipping business you have, and you say how you can make 6 figures selling this specific thing to this specific market. And that's your niche. That's a great idea. Good. That's exactly what you should do. All drop shippers should have a service-based business. That's exactly what you should do. You will make so much money so much more quickly. You'll be shocked. You'll get the 7 figures in a fucking heartbeat if you do that, dude. So, Roy, you will get the 7 figures in a goddamn heartbeat. If you're serious about this, you start a service-based business, selling services, consulting, coaching, what have you, to people who want to do a dropship business just like you did, you're going to kill it. Do it. Great idea. I told her I didn't want to take her virginity because it's for her future husband. She's 32. 9-day business builder. Do you need existing skills? You can start with something new. You need no skills. It is for complete beginners. You need nothing, and we will make you make money. You don't need any. You have skills. You don't need any special business skills. It is for beginners. There's another program that I've temporarily paused from last year called the Accelerator. That's for people who already have a business. We'll bring that back later in the year, maybe. Maybe. I don't even know if I want to do that. I want to double down on Business Builder. So I'm 6'2". Should I lie about my height on dating apps due to height inflation? So many men lie about their height. No, keep it at 6'2". But then, as I've said, if she's significantly shorter than you, I like girls who are like 5'1", 5'2", 5'3". So you go on a first date with a woman who's like 5'1", 5'2", 5'3", 5'4". Dial back the alpha a little bit. You're going to be a little intimidating. But no, don't lie. No, say you're 6'2". That's fine. That's a benefit. If you break Nigerian immigrants from other people of African descent, they out-earn whites as well. Really? Is that? I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. I know some here in Dubai. They kick ass. So that's not surprising. That's interesting. I think I've heard that about Kenyans as well. Certain African cultures are hustle cultures. They kick ass. Yeah. Great. I like your boldness of answering all questions, even if they are controversial or stupid shit to talk about you. I'm outcome independent. I don't care what anyone thinks about me. You can ask me literally anything you want, and I'll answer you unless it possibly causes a legal problem for me, and then I can't tell you. Other than that, I'll tell you everything. I don't care what you think. I've said this before. I would, if it was legal, I'd walk around outside naked and wearing no clothing, provided it wasn't too hot. I don't give a fuck. Jimmy is a closeted gay trans. You know, we didn't have trans back then. He could have been gay. I don't think so. I think he was just, I have a brother-in-law like this, just very, I have a brother too like this, very effeminate heterosexual, I think. Hilarious. Did you achieve the results you were hoping for with your fasting? That's going to take several months, so I don't know yet. One thing I have encountered is that I'm fasting. I've switched it up. Was fasting Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays for 3 days a week. And I was able to do that. The problem is, if anything weird happened in my life or my schedule during those 3 days, I'd break. So if I had to spend the day out all day fucking with banks like I had to one day, I'll break and eat some food. If something unusually good happened, which happened, recently, it's not with that Instagram chick either. I'll break. So when I realize, and the reason I'll break is it'll be like Tuesday afternoon and I'll be really hungry and I'll go, God damn. Okay. I'll say, no, not till Thursday morning. And then I'll say, well, fuck, man, Thursday morning, fuck. So I realized it hit me the other day. What if I just fasted every other day, 3 days a week? So instead of fasting Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, why not fast Monday, Wednesday, Friday? And then all day I know the next day I can eat. Now, the one reason I wasn't doing this is you get the most benefits from fasting, saltwater fasting, at 72 hours. So I would not be in that benefit, but in terms of calories in, calories out, it's get the same benefits. So I'm going to start experimenting with that this week, fasting every other day instead of 3 days in a row. So it was 3. I'll cover more about this when I do it. I'll do a live stream about this. It's Monday to Wednesday fasting, no food. Thursday, Friday, Saturday eating at a caloric deficit, which for me is 1846 calories a day. That's for me, not for you. Everyone's different. And then Sunday, a light cheat day, light. And that was working, but sometimes it fucks. So now I'm going to switch it up, do the exact same thing, but it's fast every other day. We'll see what happens. But I've lost weight. Yeah. Oh yeah. Did you play any tabletop role-playing games when you were an adult or just when you were a kid? Yes, we played Talisman when I was an adult. Talisman kicked ass. The original version, not the new one, which is stupid. The original version, we played that. As an adult, I played tabletop strategy games. The best tabletop strategy game in my entire life as an adult. You can't buy it anymore. It's an old game from the 80s. I still own it. It's awesome. It's called Supremacy. It's amazing. It's for 4 to 8 players. It takes all fucking day to play, sometimes 2 days, and it's World War III/World War IV. So you have a giant map of the United States, but it has it's not like Risk, it has everything. It has like nukes, neutron bombs, killer satellites, spies, biological warfare, everything you can think of, because there was like 15 expansions you could buy for it, and I bought all of them. It's awesome. I haven't played it in years because I'm too busy, but God, that's a great game. I'd love to play it again. Related to the getting out of bed question, what is your pre-bedtime routine, the steps and how long it takes and how you start? But and what if you can't get to sleep? Ambien. I do not take drugs ever. I don't take any drugs. Ambien is a drug. I will not take it. My routine is in my phone, and my phone is my camera right now, so I can't pull it up. See if I can remember it. I just follow what my phone says. The alarm goes off at 1 a.m. I stay up till 1 a.m. and I sleep until 10 a.m. because when I'm in Dubai, it's compatible with North American time zones. So what I do is I brush my, see if I remember it. I brush my teeth. I floss my teeth unless I'm fasting. They don't have to. Put on some of my moisturizer shit. I come back. I do what's called an experience transformer. It's something I learned from a strategic coach. I go over my 5 wins for the day. I go over what is working today, what is not working. I write it down. It goes into my plan. And then I do my to-do list for the next day. Then I go back in my bathroom after my stuff is dried. I do another thing on my face, like retinol or whatever. And then I set up my apartment room for sleep and I go to sleep. That's it. Takes about half an hour. My night routine, half an hour-ish. Can you recommend a place for a country for medical tourism? I live in Canada. It takes years to see a specialist sometimes. Panama. That's the closest to you in Canada. Panama's great. Malaysia's great. Dubai in certain conditions is great, depending on what you want to do. There's 3. I feel guilty. You talk about how girls are biologically wired to leave you. Right. What if that depresses me, as that goes against the one who could take emotional security forever? You need to read The Unchained Man. I don't know if you have that book, go get it. It teaches you how to watch. That's societal programming. You need to wash that out of your head. You are raised with a fantasy, and now you believe in a fantasy. And now, if you found out that Santa Claus is true, now you're depressed that Santa Claus is true. You need to wipe out that Santa Claus shit. No such thing as emotional security with long-term monogamous relationships in the modern era. You could get it, but then even then. Thoughts on Brian Johnson versus Ray Kurzweil? Brian Johnson's doing a much better job in terms of anti-aging than obviously Ray Kurzweil. He's kicking Ray Kurzweil's ass. Ray Kurzweil is more of a futurist and than a anti-aging guy, in my view, at least these days. Ray's not looking too great, not acting too great. He shouldn't even gone on that Joe Rogan podcast because now everyone hates him. Brian Johnson, great, good stuff. I am glad we have Brian. I'm glad we had some maniac billionaire who said, I'm going to spend hundreds of millions of dollars rewinding my age, because he's the guy who gives us the data that we wouldn't have otherwise. So good for him. I'm glad we have him. Just like I'm glad we have Ray Kurzweil. I'm glad we have these people who will do things that I will never do, so I can learn these things. I'm kind of glad for Alex Hormozi. Guys, I'm glad for these guys. We need these guys. Despite the fact that all three of those men have other areas of their lives that are completely fucked up. But that's a separate topic. What meditation resources for beginners would you recommend? It's not a resource, it's a technique. Count your breathing, 1 to 10, rewind to 10. That's it. So here's the beginner meditation technique. Close your eyes, visualize some outdoor vista that you think is nice. Mountains, trees, ocean, a really cool city. Okay. Breathe in and you see the gigantic number 1 hovering over that. Breathe in, number 1, breathe out, number 2. Breathe in, number 3, breathe out, number 4, and you go to 10 and just go back to 1 and just do it again. That's it. Start with that. That's it. That you will get benefit from doing that. What is your favorite Civ and leader for Civ 5? There isn't one. There's several. I like Germany. I like Japan. I don't like India because I don't like those tall empires. Those are a pain in my ass. I don't like America. It's been so long, dude. There's 3 I like. Who else do I like a lot? I like Zulu. Zulu kicked ass. Zulu was good. I like the warlike ones. Oh, I love here's a really fun way to play Civ 5. You're the British Empire, you're England, and you do an archipelago world. Because all their stuff is water-based, you will kick ass. Even if you're on hard mode. That was so fun. I did that several times. I mean, your submarines and shit just kick ass when you're England in a world with lots of water. Especially if it's an archipelago. Oh my God, that was so much fun. You're making me miss that game. God damn it. Stepbrother is looking at becoming an engineer and going to college. He's making a terrible mistake. How would you become an engineer doing engineering work and projects without going to college? Engineering is one of the first things that companies outsource. Technical functions is one of the first things you outsource when you start a business. So he shouldn't be an engineer. He should do something. He should start a niched business in the engineering space, not be an engineer. I mean, here's a more extreme example. I'm going to be a web developer. Why? Start a business in the web space. Don't be a web developer. That's the dumbest thing you could do. So you don't be an engineer. You work in the engineering space. I was in the computer space, the IT space for decades. I didn't have a college degree. I don't know anything about engineering. I didn't know about writing software. I didn't know shit, but I was in the computer space. And I made a lot of money as a very young man doing that. Didn't know shit. I knew how to do networking. I knew how to build a server and set up a network. I was really good at that. I got really, really good at that one thing. That's it. That's it. You don't go to college for that? No. If you had gone to college for that, you would have been stupid. That's the answer. You guys, and I know it's not you, your stepbrother. You've got to get off this college thing. I know that's so difficult. You know what this is? College today is what monogamy was in my space about 10 years ago. When I said monogamy doesn't work 15 years ago, people just lost their fucking mind. What the fuck? Yes, it does. Fuck you. And they fought me and fought me and fought me. And now, yeah, no one fights me anymore because it doesn't work. People finally got there. Now it's college. Don't go to college. What do you mean don't go to college? How the fuck am I supposed to? And the people are fighting me and they're trying to find, rare exceptions. Well, if you went to Harvard, you got to get off this thing. Get off this college hump. Take this college, I have to go to college thing and just release it into the air. You are more stable owning your own business in the modern collapsing era than ever having a job. And that's what college will prepare you for. Number one. Number two, college teaches outdated technical skills, which is the first thing companies outsource. So if you're going to start a business, you don't learn any technical skills. Any. That's stupid. Learn business, learn marketing, learn sales, learn product, learn niching. None of that you'll learn in college, or very little of it. You can join our business builder for 1,000th the cost of going to fucking college. I mean, it's so stupid. Enjoyed your Travel Ace course. People should also know about the Charles Schwab checking account and debit card, which refunds all ATM and purchase fees from anywhere in the world at the end of the month. Ooh, that's fucking cool. I didn't know that. You know what I just realized? I'm so stupid sometimes. I was sending money to my Dubai bank accounts and then doing transfers to other Dubai banks here in Dubai because it's easy once it's here. But I was paying a bunch of fees to get them to Dubai. And I just realized, wait a minute, I can just use like Revolut or Wise and send it right to a Dubai account. And I just did that. I'm like, oh, fuck. Why haven't I been doing that for the last 4 years? I'm a dumb shit sometimes. As someone who says you follow happiness, why do you keep up with politics, geopolitics, with all the drama and negativity? I don't watch the news. I don't read the news. I hear about big events, mostly from you guys. I don't. I did not touch any news items today. I haven't in many days. If Iran launched missiles at Israel, then I'll hear about it. If Russia invades, I'll hear about that. The only news I pay attention to on a very peripheral basis is stuff that will affect my investments. I have investments all over the world. So I have to kind of pay a little attention to certain things. That's it. I don't follow these things. I said many times, many of you need to go on a 30-day news diet, get off the fucking news. It's rotting your brain. So I don't. Can't get into Civ 5. Best is Civ 4 with Realism Invictus mods. Bullshit. Do Civ 5 with all three not mods. So you can tell I haven't played a video game in many years. Not add-ons. What are they called? DLCs? Whatever. All three expansions. Thank you. Expansions. And a few mods. Kick ass. Between the two bundles, which one sold more? The business one. Because they always do. Business stuff sells better than dating stuff. All right. I'm going to go here. Yeah, but Archipelago is English and any game is like cheating. Right. So what you have to do is you jack up the difficulty level to the stratosphere to offset that. All right. Should you have kids with 3 MLTRs in a huge house? Go read my article at the Black Dragon blog. I almost said it. Alpha Male 2.0 blog, alphamale20.com/blog. I just did an article 3 or 4 weeks ago called Don't Have Multiple Wives. Called Multiple Wives, Don't Do It. It's the same thing. Read that article. Go read that. Any of you dumb shits fantasizing about having multiple women you're fucking in your same house with you 24/7, go read that article. Now, having OLTRs, girlfriends, MLTRs, wives, I won't say this. I can't say it. I can't say it. Stay tuned for our next few months. I can't say what I'm about to say. All right. Caleb, what is love? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Ask me next time. I got to go. That's a big answer. Cool. All right, guys. Have fun. Bye.